So today I want to talk to you about tennis elbow, golfer's elbow. It's all a form of tendonitis, and it's a common thing that beginners get with kettlebells. Not only with kettlebells, also with barbells and other forms of training. Anywhere where you have to hold on to a tool and use your grip, or use pronation or supination of the wrist, or flexion, extension, and all those muscles are connected in our underarm and forearm at the top and under, and they go all the way through to the area of the elbow. So when you say tennis elbow or golfer's elbow, it's actually not a problem in the joint, but the tendons that are connected around there and go all the way up. So I'm going to talk about some workarounds, which means that you can keep training. I don't recommend workarounds, but sometimes we don't listen or do what is right. So you need to know then what to do in that case. And that's what this video is about. Also, when you start feeling issues, some symptoms, you can take precautions. So all the things that are good for the workaround are also good to implement before you really get a serious issue. So rest is the best thing, rest, recovery, but using the workaround exercises is also a form of prevention. So I hope you enjoy this topic, and all I ask is that you share it with others in groups, because a lot of people have got these issues and they need to know how to work around it or do exercises to prevent it before it gets worse. Today I'm going to cover a condition that happens a lot with kettlebell beginners, and we see these questions a lot in our groups. Like kettlebell workout on Facebook, over 22,000 people in it, and over the years, over and over again, we see the same question and the same issues. Golfer's elbow, tennis elbow, and many other issues, and they all relate to the same thing. So golfer's elbow and tennis elbow do affect different areas of the elbow. One is on the inside, one is on the outside, but they are caused by the same similar actions. So first, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that can cause the problems. Kettlebell swings, gripping too tight, too many, too heavy. Snatches, where you're pulling the weight, again, too heavy, too many, not enough rest. So the issue is caused by overuse and failed healing of the tendons. The tendons are connected here to your bones, either here or here, depending on whether you have golfer's elbow or tennis elbow. So it's not the muscles, it is the tendons that are having the issues. They're inflamed, they're injured, and they're just not recovering. So they need to recover. And to do that, you need to first find the cause and remove that. So rest in that regard. So, for example, is it your grip that's too tight, too heavy, the weight? Is it pronation or supination of the wrist, which is basically rotation of the forearm, that you do too frequently with a weight too heavy and not enough recovery between sessions, etc. All these things can cause tendonitis. So the first thing you need to do is remove the cause, rest from those exercises, and then fix whatever it is. The progress is not good. You are here, but you are here in regards to load, in regards to intensity, in regards to frequency. So you need to adjust all those things. So it's always the athlete, the user of the kettlebell that's at fault, not the kettlebell itself. So the kettlebell sometimes gets a bad name because of this issue, but this issue happens everywhere. It can happen with the barbell, it can happen with pull-ups, dumbbells. It happens whenever you have one of these things that are lacking: proper programming, too frequently, too much load, not enough recovery, etc. So do not blame the kettlebell. Now, the reason why you came here is because you don't want to rest and you're looking for a workaround. First of all, I don't recommend working around it. I recommend resting, recovery, looking at the course, movement without load, and all those things, looking after your body. That's what I recommend, number one. So, but still, people, including myself sometimes, don't listen to what's right. Sometimes you work too hard for something and you just don't want to see it go to waste. I understand that. So that's why we're here today and talking about a workaround. So, we're looking at the course. We know it's grip or lateral wrist flexion or pronation and supination of the wrist. We know it's either one of those things, so we need to look at that. And you need to start looking at what affects it. Is it the grip here? Do you feel it when you're gripping something tight? Do you feel it when you do wrist flexion? Or you make sure that you just avoid all those things. Now, here are a few exercises that you can do with the kettlebell while avoiding all these things. First thing, you always need to grip a kettlebell if the weight is dead on the ground, because you need to clean it up. So you want to avoid cleans, that's for sure. You want to avoid swings and you want to avoid snatches, anywhere where that weight is hanging or being pulled up very explosively, especially that one. So, but let's say you still need to clean that weight. What you need to do then is minimize the load on your grip. We're going to do that with two hands. Looks like this. Hook grip with one, overhand grip with the other. I'm going to pull back and clean my weight. The load on my grip was minimized a lot because I'm pulling the fingers in. I'm going to do this a few more times. So, hook grip, over grip, pull back, come up, let that weight come up, slide in, so you let go and you slide in, catching that weight. Then here in racking, we want to make sure that we don't get pronation or supination of the wrist and we just keep it neutral. So usually you might have to go in or out, depending on what's comfortable for you, but you need to think to yourself, I don't want to move that wrist. I want to keep it neutral where it is. So for me, right now, I feel that's here. So I'm going to keep that wrist right here after I rack the weight, after I clean it and rack it. Here we go. And here we go. That would be my position. Elbow down, right here. Not here or here, right here. From here, I can do presses, but then you need to make sure that you, once you're going overhead, you're still not rotating that forearm. So you could go here and you're rotating. You want to avoid that. So make sure that you feel that stays neutral, the forearm. No pronation or supination of the wrist. Back down. Let's take a step back. You got pronation, supination of the wrist. You got two bones here. Basically what happens is either this side gets pulled back here, which pulls this bone this way, and this bone down that way. The muscles that are responsible for doing that are overworked. So either pulling in or pulling back. So make sure to avoid that. So I just did a clean and a press where we were avoiding grip and we were avoiding rotation of the forearm. Not a great exercise is a chest press. Always assisting with the other hand to remove any work that this arm needs to do. Assist with the other hand. Here, make sure that you're not pronating or supinating. Again, keep it neutral. Down. Really relax that forearm. Only thing that's happening is pulling in with your elbow flexor to keep the weight from falling. Oh, and of course your triceps are working on the other side to keep the weight from falling in. You can change the angle of your elbow. Again, when you put it down, make sure that you assist with your other hand. Get a good hand insert. Make sure that you download Master Kettlebell Grips. It's a free PDF that explains all the hand grips, which are extremely important if you're at this stage. Master Kettlebell Grips. Download from cavemantraining.com/shop. Next, the goblet squat. I recommend the goblet squat above the racked squat because you're supporting the weight with two hands and your wrists are extended right here and there is no lateral flexion either. So the goblet squat looks like this. If you don't feel comfortable letting go at the top, you can do it like this. Double hand grip. I switch my hand at the end to catch the weight here. Open palm, then rest it there and get the other hand over to bang. Going back down, right here, grip it here, and then let it drop and use your other hand. Remember, we want to avoid tight grips or load on the grip. So always two hands when you can. Next, for cardio, I recommend double arm clean, double arm switch, and jerk. So alternating jerk. Looks like this. Grab, drop, and clean on the other side. Again, with the jerk, you want to make sure that you avoid the rotation of the forearm as much as possible. I don't recommend swings, but if you insist on doing them, you can do the same thing that you did with the clean. Other hand over. Don't overdo it. Switch after 5 reps. Again, all these things are great as well to use for prevention. So let's say you're getting to the point where you're feeling something around here. It's time to tone it down and start doing these things. If you have to, keep training. Alright, I suggest that if you can head to YouTube or some other social media platform, that you visit go.cavemantraining.com/golfer's elbow, because there's a lot more information there. So I stress again, it's a workaround, but you should really be resting and recovering and finding the course. If you do have to continue training, get a professional coach who understands the mechanics, and you can talk with them exactly to find out the exact movement that causes distress in your elbow, near your elbow. So it's not the elbow, it's called golfer's elbow, but it's not the actual joint. It's the tendons that connect close to your elbow. Tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, and there are many other different names. But the issue will be around here. Take this time to take a step back and look at the fundamentals of kettlebell training. There's some very important things that you need to look at, like for example casting the weight. That provides a jerk and a lot of load, immediate load on the tendons, on your grip. Pulling too hard, on the drop of the snatch, with the back of your swing, all those things. So avoid those and go back to the fundamentals. Learn kettlebell training fundamentals. Go to cavemantraining.com/shop and look at the books. There's Kettlebell Training Fundamentals, there is 21 Days to Kettlebell Training for Beginners. All these things lay a solid foundation for you for less than $100. It's well worth your health and training safely for the rest of your life. So we have the kettlebell swing, the kettlebell snatch, but there are other things as well that happen. For example, the clean, dropping, casting that weight out. The same thing with the drop from the snatch. You're getting a jerk, a lot of load on your grip, and that is load on your tendons over and over again. Make sure to check out the Kettlebell Training Fundamentals that I'll talk about towards the end of the video. So a quick demo of what casting looks like. Casting your weight. Here, you're cleaning, casting, bang, right here, up, load on the grip. Same thing with a snatch. Every time, a lot of load on that grip, which is not here, but here, on the muscles that provide you with grip. Those muscles are here. So one thing I want to make clear is that it's not the kettlebell that's the issue, it's the athlete. Always the athlete, not the tool. It's lack of proper programming, it's lack of technique. You got too heavy load, too frequent, not enough recovery, high volume, etc. All that contributes to your tendons being overloaded and not recovering. So I hope you enjoyed this topic, and all I ask is that you share it with others in groups, because a lot of people have got these issues and they need to know how to work around it or do exercises to prevent it before it gets worse.